All right, how you doing today? Today we're taking a look at the Native Instruments, Abbey Road Drummers, the Studio Drum, the Drum Lab, some of the other drummers, how we get a lot more MIDI files into these things that we already own. Basically, this is the Abbey Road 60s drummer here. If you go into grooves, I've installed all these other different grooves in here from the other libraries. As you can see here, these are the standard ones that come with it. And then I have all these extra MIDI packs from the 70s kit, from Drum Lab, from Band, from my Studio Drummer. These are all just Native Instruments MIDI files, but they don't put them in every player. So this is a way to do it. It's a little tricky, it could be a little confusing at times. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Watch the video again, and let's get into it. Also, please do subscribe to the channel. I have hundreds of other videos in my back catalog, all kind of music production stuff, free VSTs, Logic Pro stuff, Reason stuff. Hit the notification bell to be notified of new videos coming out. And let's just get right into this. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is find out where your MIDI is on your computer for your Native Instruments plugins. In my case, I'm on a Mac. It is under my shared users here. If you go to your Macintosh hard drive, users, shared. Because when I installed it, I did it for every user on the computer, even though I'm the only user on the computer. It might be somewhere different on your computer. So once you find it, you can begin this process. So we have the Abbey Road Drummer 60s drummer, the Abbey 70 drummer, Abbey Road 70s, the Abbey Road Modern drummer. We're also going to do the Beat Lab, or Drum Lab, rather, it's called, I'm sorry. And we'll do the Studio Drummer from Native Instruments as well. So the first thing we want to do is find out where the MIDI files are. So I'm opening up the 60s drummer library here, and there's a file or a folder called MIDI files. I have that right here. And I'm just going to make a duplicate of this. Duplicate. I'm going to name it 60s kit. And then I'll make a new folder on my desktop. You could do it anywhere really, but wherever. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to keep this over here. And I'm going to drag that folder, 60s MIDI, 60s kit MIDI, over to here. And then we're going to repeat that process for the Abbey Road 70s drummer, the Modern drummer, the Beat Lab, whatever other Abbey Road drummers you might have, because you might have more than I do. I don't have all of them. Same thing, duplicate. 70s. And we'll do the same thing for the Modern drummer, the Drum Lab. We could even take the Contact Factory Library 2 Band MIDI files. We'll take those. I'm going to do it off screen, so you have to watch me do it every time. Basically, just duplicate it, drag them over to here. And then I just simply renamed them all. I took off the MIDI file, the copy, all that stuff. But we do have to do this. We have to take all these. We have to make more duplicates of these. So we'll make a duplicate of that. We'll make a new folder. And we'll label this MIDI. So that made a new folder with those copies in there already, as you can do on Mac. So here's all my copies. We're gonna open this up. We want to get rid of this copy thing again, rename these. You can leave them there, but I just like to have it cleaner up, have it cleaned up. So there we go. These are all the different MIDI packs that I have within my Native Instruments, if you will. But we're not done. We still got some more work to do here. So we're going to go back into our Abbey Road 60s drummer library. And where it says MIDI files, we have to do another duplicate of this folder because we have to put one in the early kits and we have to put one in the late kits. We also have to put a number in front of it because, as you can see here, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. We could do 06, but I'm going to leave that open just in case if Native Instruments, updates their software someday and puts more MIDI files in there, they'll probably use 06. So I'm going to leave that one blank. And we'll just do, you can put whatever number you want really. So we got this MIDI file here, the one I just created and cleaned up the files. We're actually going to duplicate it again. There's a lot of duplicating because we have to get all these in there in all the different places. So we could just drag this one into the early kit, and now we have to relabel it something with a number. We could put, we'll put 10, why not? And we could put extra MIDI. It doesn't really matter, you can label it whatever you want. Just have the number there. Now we also can make an 06 folder, an 07 folder, and an 08 folder, and make the 70s drum 06, 07, 08, and so on and so forth. So it's up in this file structure. But I'm just putting it all here. And since this is the 60s drums, we don't actually need the 60s drums repeated in here. So we can delete that one. And now we have all the extra MIDI that I have from the Native Instruments stuff that is available to me. And then the other folder we made, the copy here, we'll just do the same thing, put it in the late kit. Same thing, label it again. We could delete the 60s kit because we already have it. And now this, when I load the 60s kit in Native Instruments or whatever plugin or whatever DAW you're using, you're going to have these MIDI files available to you. So let's check that out. And so over here, before we check that out, we have to do the same thing for the other drum kits. So for the 70s drummer, I would just repeat that process, duplicate all these twice, drag them over here, relabel them how I want them relabeled, and you know, the same thing, delete the 70s kit because that is the 70s kit. And then the same thing with the band lab, or the drum lab rather, same thing. They only have one folder of MIDI files in there, so you don't have any late kits, early kits, just the one. And we have all those extra kits in the drum lab library, which would be really cool. Anyway, so let's check this out. So now when we go into Logic here, open up your contact player. We'll load up the 70 or the 60s kit. Doesn't matter early or late because we have in both file sections. And now we have our grooves, the standard grooves that come with it, the 70s kit, open kit. We have all these extra MIDI files that we can. So there you go. Now some of the band ones, I've noticed they are like, they're not all like, this is African Shaker. There are no African Shaker. So this is going to be a random loop. This is kind of whatever. And then we got some other kits that may have some different MIDI mapping. These ones are electronic kits, that's why. So they have no MIDI data for Abbey Road Drummer. We go in the beats. So with the band MIDI, you're gonna get, it's a hit or miss with some of the stuff. Probably these 808s and stuff. You got these 808 beats and 909s. Yeah, because it's a different MIDI mapping. So you could go, you know, if you want to, you could go through ahead of time and figure out which ones work best. And just don't even put them in there. It's a little extra work, but I just wanted to show you this really quick. So that beat is from the Drum Lab library. And yeah, so pretty cool. And then we got the Studio Drummer library here. So whatever libraries you have, you can really add a lot more MIDI to each of your different players, and you have a lot more options for your drum beats. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I know it's a little confusing at times. Yeah, and then just check it out.